welcome to the Total Country Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Total Country Podcast. My name's Kevin Angel and thanks for joining me today. My guest today is Kaylin Roberson, but before we get on to her, I want to tell you quickly about a live stream I'm hosting on the Total Country Podcast page on the 7th of August. If you're listening to this after that date, don't worry, you can still find the event on the video section of the Facebook page or on YouTube. On August 7th, to celebrate the UK digital release of the documentary Bluebird, an accidental landmark that changed history, I'm hosting a Bluebird Cafe celebration, a fully live 3 or so hour event featuring live acts for the first 2 hours, which are to be confirmed at the time of recording, so do check the social media pages now, and culminating in a fully interactive interview with Erica Wallum-Nichols, who's the COO/GM of the Bluebird Cafe, and alumni of this podcast, and she'll be joined by the absolutely incredible Tony Arata, who you may know for helping Garth Brooks get his record deal and for writing one of his biggest hits, The Dance. On the night, I'll be opening up the floor to questions, so if you have any for Erica or Tony, join me live, and who knows, we might even be able to get Tony to perform the dance on the stream. You can find more details on the Total Country Podcast Facebook page. Right, on with today's show. I'm excited to be welcoming the simply brilliant Kaylin Roberson. Me and Kaylin have been trying to organise an interview for what seems like an eternity, but unfortunately due to time differences and her schedule and my schedule, times clashed. But a few weeks back we finally managed to sit down for an hour and get this interview done. If you don't know Kaylin Roberson, she hails from Raleigh, North Carolina, and spent years honing her craft around the area, regularly winning many regional idol-style competitions before moving to Nashville, Tennessee to fully pursue her music career a year or so ago. In spite of a horrific accident that you'll hear about in the interview, she now regularly plays live in the Music City and has played prestigious nights such as the Song Suffragettes at the Listening Post venue, as we discussed in the interview. Her music is the perfect blend of country and country pop, matched with a brilliant voice and some true songwriting credentials, always delivering a message in whatever she sings. I'm personally predicting big things for Kaylin. If you're new to Kaylin or an existing fan, I'm sure this interview has something for everyone. For instance, do you know what her favourite meal is? So here we go, my interview with the super lovely Kaylin Roberson. So I am joined by Kaylin Roberson. Good to see you again. How are you?
Good, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I last saw you briefly when you kindly popped on to do my Save the Venues live stream for the UK. But how have the last few months been treating you? It's been very strange. I understand it's been as equally odd for you guys over there.
Yeah, it's been a very, very strange and unexpected time for sure. I feel like the beginning of quarantine happened literally a year ago. The time is going. Especially as a songwriter, when I feel like musicians live such a spontaneous, in the moment life.
Yeah.
For everything to just stop and be paused is making time go by so much slower. But it's been really good. I've been playing when I can, when it permits, and I've been doing a lot of Zoom writing. A lot of writers have been depending on Zoom for their jobs, and it's doing its job. It's not my favorite thing, but it's doing what it needs to do. I've actually gotten some really great writes from Zoom, so which actually I might even release one or two. That's how good they were. So it's been going, but yeah.
I see you've been lucky enough to spend some time back in Raleigh, North Carolina as well, with some family and friends and things as well, haven't you? So that must be nice.
Yes, my town is not quite as populated. I'm from a city, but when I go home, I tend to go to the beach more than stay in the city. So it's a little less populated, so it's been good to just go back and be with my family during this time and just get a little break. I think if anything that, COVID and this quarantine stuff has probably just brought people closer together, families. So I'm trying to use that time while I can.
Nice. So take me back to growing up with music and talk to me about how you got into music and how you decided this was the path you wanted to take.
So I pretty much came out always humming things, and I actually went to high school for a musical theater endorsement degree when I first started going to high school. So being on a stage has never been a fear of mine. Have I been extremely nervous on stage? Absolutely, but I've always wanted to be there. And so when I was little, I started writing songs, I'd say, when I was about 12 years old. But I really started doing music when I was about 9. My dad put me into vocal lessons, and I was obsessed with Hannah Montana. I'm sure you heard of that show.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, okay, cool. And when I was 9 years old, something happened in my life that kind of took me back, and I physically had to stay home a lot. I was I was attacked by my grandparents' dog. I was mauled by him, actually, and he ended up ripping off the right half of my lip and splitting open the side of my eye. I had over 200 stitches, and I had to be on life support, and I was in the hospital for like 3 to 4 days. And after all of that, I was stuck at home because I had to heal before I went back to school. And so my dad was like, here's a camera. Good luck. I still have to go to work. Love you. Bye. So I put up the camera and I was like, all right. And what's actually interesting to me is I think that continuing to film myself do cover videos of Hannah Montana songs, I think that I gained this confidence in the scars that I knew that I was going to have. And so it was almost like by having the camera there and just like performing and doing cover videos, I was like, in a way, healing through the power of music. And obviously when I was singing then, I was just doing it for fun. But the older I got, the more I realized that music was something that always made me happy, and especially in really hard times. And it's just continued to make me happy. So now I write songs, and I have a band in Nashville and in Raleigh, and I'd say I've been writing and playing professionally since I was 15. So.
Did it, obviously when you went back to school, I assume it was quite soon after the incident happened. Did it take a lot for you to sort of get your confidence, or did you just kind of own it? Or
I was a pretty rambunctious 9-year-old. To me, it was like, oh, everyone come sign my cast. I was very confident. I was that kid. But then I'd say around the middle school years when you really, it's just an awkward phase for anyone anyways. But to be a young girl and for, social media to exist and to want to perform and do all these things, I think that the scars and the way that I looked didn't really hit me until middle school. And that's when I probably struggled the most with self-confidence. But music helped me get through all of that. And in high school, I actually started touring other high schools and middle schools to talk about bullying. And mostly for me, I always try to preach just loving yourself and learning how to love and accept everything that, you go through as an individual. So I did that in high school, and that also helped me just heal in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did some research on you earlier, actually. You've done a lot over the past couple of years in terms of motivational speeches and going to orphanages and hospitals and things. Is that your kind of giving back because of what happened to you, or?
Yes, absolutely. I love going to schools. I love going. More recently, it's been going to hospitals just because I don't have time on my hands to do the school stuff. But this year I've been focusing a lot on trying to now create better songs because I don't want to just be a voice for people. I want to be a voice that people want to listen to, which requires good songs. I went through something. It was a blessing in disguise. It was God's plan for me. And now that I know that, I need to create the content so that when I go into these schools, the 16-year-olds actually want to listen to me talk.
So were your parents really supportive of you growing up on kind of pushing your musical career? Yes,
they are my biggest supporters. I definitely could not do it without them. I am I'm like one of the laziest people I know. I do a lot, but if it weren't for people motivating me, I'd definitely not do a lot. But no, my parents have always been super supportive, and they always helped guide me in the right direction. They've been the ones who have really encouraged me to use my music for, the better, to use what I went through to help the community. I give them 100% props on that, because my mom's a critical care nurse. My dad's, they work their butts off, and they're definitely my biggest supporters and inspiration as well.
Yeah. Who were you listening to growing up musically, just, apart from Hannah Montana?
Apart from Hannah Montana.
We love Miley.
Right. Well, I was born in 98, so country was already kind of what some people would consider country pop. So I grew up on like Rascal Flatts, Lady Antebellum, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Shania Twain. That was kind of my era of country music. But I also listened to a lot of pop as well. So a lot of my influences come from both genres.
Where does your love from dance come from as well? Because you've been doing some moves on TikTok lately, haven't you?
Thanks for asking.
You can't post that stuff and not expect it to come up.
Perfect. No, I started dancing when I was in middle school. Well, I was put in ballet as a little kid, but then my dad wanted me to play other sports. So I grew up a very like tomboy, playing soccer and running every day with my dad and stuff like that. And then for some reason, I was just the girliest soccer player to exist ever. So I started figure skating, and my coach wanted me to do ballet because I wasn't graceful enough. So I was like, okay, fine, put me in ballet class. And after I went to my first recital, I was like, one ballet class is not enough. I need to take every single type of dance ever, because I'm obsessed with just, I don't know, the sparkles at that age. And so I danced for probably 7 years competitively on a team. And I still absolutely love dance, and I wish I could take classes still. I need to get back into it. But TikTok is my little getaway for my dance fix.
Is it just time for dancing? I guess there's not enough time in the day to fit everything in, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a place around here, the Millennium Dance Complex. They offer classes for all ages, and I've really wanted to go take them, but yeah, for right now, it's just a time thing.
I can imagine. So, are you still at college? Have you finished college?
I am still in college. I'm actually about to just get my associate's degree, and then transferring to East Carolina University. Go Pirates! This next semester. So I got 2 more years, and then I will be a fully educated adult.
How do you juggle everything and still do your college stuff?
I in high school went homeschooled to tour and traveling, and during that time I had to switch to online classes because my school was not going to allow me to miss that much. So I switched to online, and originally I was using this program that had no due dates. It was like finish everything at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And obviously, what did I do? I sat down at the piano every day, and I did not do anything. So my parents were like, this needs to change, otherwise you're not going to graduate till you're 25. So then I switched to a school called Crossroads Flex, which allows you to come in about 3 times a week, see a tutor to help you stay on track with the North Carolina online school program. So I did that. So I've been doing online school literally since sophomore year of high school. So I feel like it prepped me really well for college.
Yeah.
And time with music and everything like that. So it's not easy. It's definitely not for everybody to make your own schedule like that. I'm not even really good at it. I'm a very person, but somehow I'm doing good.
Good. Let's go more up to date and talk about your more recent stuff. So you released your first single at the end of May as a Nashville recording artist. If anyone's not heard it, it's called Out of My Town. Massive, massive fan of it. I had it playing earlier. Love it. Why did you pick that as your debut release?
Thank you so much. I've been in town writing for a year just to try to find that one song that I was like, this is going to be my song as an artist. And as an artist, I really want my audience to know who I am and what I'm about. And I felt like that song really spoke a lot about the things that I value, because it's about my hometown and things that continue to change every time I go back home. But the feeling of being home and being with my family is always the same. And that's something that's super important to me. So I just felt like it spoke true to who I was. And I don't know, something just stood out to me about that song compared to the other ones I've been writing. So I was like, I'm going to put it out and see how it does. And that's pretty much my method. If I connect with a song I write, I just go for it and trust my gut.
It's become super relatable with everything going on at the moment as well, hasn't it? In terms of it's almost about missing people or just wanting that longing of home.
Weird timing, absolutely. I didn't really put two and two together until someone else was also like, this song actually is really relatable to everything going on right now, because, think about the amount of like changes that have happened in towns, not only with the COVID stuff, but, with the protesting stuff and everything. Like my entire, the main street of my city where I live at home, all the windows were broken and, just a lot of damage was done. But you know what? It's still my home, and the feeling of going back home doesn't change. So it is weird how it relates to a lot of stuff going on right now.
Did you feel the stress or pressure of getting this one right? Because it's obviously the first one that started to go onto Spotify playlists and things. Did you feel it, or did you just know?
Oh, I felt it. Because in Nashville, there's just so much talent. Everyone, it's just flooded with amazing artists and singers, and it's really hard to be friends with the same people that you're, also releasing music with. And it's a really cool thing, but it's also a like always comparing yourself thing. And there's this pressure of like, well, this is my first one. I hope it does just as good as so-and-so's or stuff like that. So there was definitely pressure, but it got a way better response than I was expecting. I was expecting like just my family to just stream it on repeat. It was pretty good. It made some Spotify editorial playlists, which is super big, and helped me get a lot more streams. So hopefully I can build up those Spotify numbers, and the next release is coming soon. So hopefully it does good too.
Talk to me about how you felt when you saw it on Spotify, because you got on some good playlists on there, didn't you?
I did. I was on New Music Nashville with one, and then they moved me up to Fresh Finds, which is another Spotify editorial. So I hope with each one I release that it maybe at least gets on those, but I hope I get playlisted more. And every single stream helps. Anytime you stream someone's music, it's not just a number. Like, it really helps. And adding someone to your playlist, following them, it just helps push their song to be on those bigger playlists. So be sure to stream Out of My Town.
What's the aim? Are you aiming for the Hot Country playlist? That's the one, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There's a couple, but yeah, Hot Country would be a goal for sure.
So someone that's trying to grow their sort of brand and their presence and their name, how important are things like that? Like, obviously, like pre-saving and stuff is really important, but I don't think many people kind of understand the value of that. Just give me an idea of what that means to you.
It means a lot to me. When I first saw that people were using pre-save links for their songs, I was like, what does pre-saving it do? And then I learned that when someone clicks that link and they pre-save your song, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, then they already know as a company like Spotify, they already know whether or not your song is going to do good before it even comes out. And that's extremely important because they know to look out for you. They know, whether or not they're going to put you on their editorial playlist. And yeah, I really didn't understand the importance of it either until literally this first release, when I was like learning as I go. And it definitely, I think, helped me get those streams that I was hoping for.
It almost puts you on the industry radar for a certain wording, doesn't it? It just gives you the heads up, just so you know, okay, these people are doing stuff right now.
Yes, absolutely. So pre-saving, following people, and adding their songs to your playlist are super helpful to helping artists out. And I think right now it's really hard for new artists because of the halt that's happened on the music industry. So I ask people to just show love to your music right now. Go follow them. Go give them one stream. Whatever you want to do to contribute. Costs nothing but love.
So why did you decide, like a year ago or so, to move to Nashville from Raleigh? Because, I mean, I've had a look at what you've been doing, and, I mean, you've won a lot of competitions around there. You've done really well. Why was that the point where you thought, I'm going to go? Because, I mean, that's a whole nother level of competition, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I moved here because there's really not much you can do from a town like Raleigh in terms of the music industry. There's a lot of, I mean, I was getting a lot of gigs at home. Yeah, I was participating in some fun, open mic nights or little small town idols, and stuff like that. And all of that's great. It's fun. It helped me gain my fan base at home. But when you go to a place like Nashville or, for actors, it's Atlanta or, LA, things like that, there's just only so much you can get done outside of those places. And I didn't realize that until I moved here, because like I said, a musician's life is super, super spontaneous. And that's literally how Nashville is. Like, I don't know what's going to happen the next day. I could meet the most important person of my life at a live round or just going out to get a drink. And that's how this town is. And you can't really have those opportunities unless you're here. So
has being there boosted your determination? Because, I mean, it's known as being a 10-year town, isn't it? That's the reputation.
It is a 10-year town. And I worked really hard at home before I moved here. In fact, a lot of people thought that I already lived here when I didn't. And that was another reason why I moved here, because I was like, that's a sign from God if people think that I already live there and I don't. So I was like, I just need to be there. It's a 10-year town, but I think that as a musician, the best thing you can do is just enjoy the journey.
How important do you think luck is in Nashville?
I think luck is a small percentage of what it takes to get somewhere. I think that who you know is a majority of what helps people in this town, for sure. And it's sad because I think a small portion really is true talent right now. There's just not a lot of money in the music industry, so a lot of people are looking for, who can pay to get things done. Labels aren't going to pay for you to make it anymore. You have to make it on your own, and then they basically act as a bank now. I think luck has its small place in Nashville.
I think more and more artists, from what I understand, are deciding to actually try and go it alone as far as possible now, and the reliance on labels and things seems to be pushing back over the last year or so.
Absolutely, and I think Spotify has helped, contribute to that trend, because it's so easy for an independent artist to create good music and put it out from their bedroom. I mean, look at Billie Eilish, produce something in her bedroom, put it out.
So let's talk about your newest single. I know you like that. Now, this is honestly my favorite. When you came on my live stream, this is the first song you played, and that's the first time I heard it. And I loved it then. It's so catchy. It's got such a good hook. The production on the recording is amazing. Talk to me about the single.
So Know You Like That. I wrote it actually right before quarantine happened. That's kind of funny. I literally met these two guys that I wanted to write with right before everything happened, and their names are Jeff and Ryan, and we're like the oddest three people. Like you just like I don't know that you would see us all hanging out at a bar. I don't know, but at this like they're just the funniest people. I love writing with them, and I've been writing with them probably the most during quarantine. And Ryan brought in the idea called "No, You Like That," and he was like, "There's a cool twist on like I know you like that blank, but also I want to know you like that." Yeah. So I was like, "That's a really cool title. Let's run with it." And it's basically just about wanting to get to know someone a little bit more than the majority of people know them.
Diplomatically worded. I suppose this one's really good for you because I say your first release is a bit more straight country. This very much goes into the sort of the poppy side of things, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And one of my favorite artists right now is Morgan Wallen and Hardy, both of them. But what I love about what Morgan Wallen does is he is very good at crossing genres. He's very good at having songs that are super country that come off that way. And then he can also, create pop country stuff that his fans love just as much. And that's who I've always wanted to be. My least favorite question has always been, what genre are you? What genre are you? Because I grew up with pop and country, and to put myself in a box like that is almost impossible. Because it really depends on my mood. It depends on the title. Some songs are meant to sound really country, and some are meant to be fun and upbeat, and this one was one of those. So it's a little different from Out of My Town for sure, but I'm hoping that people like it just as much. So
let's go into songwriting. You've touched on it earlier, but do you have a standard songwriting process, or are you like a sit-down writer, or because a lot of people I spoke to previously are very much spur of the moment, but I mean before we started recording, you mentioned that I think you're quite regimented in how you write, are you?
Yeah, I like writing in person, and I pretty much schedule writes. It's not necessarily a spur of the moment thing. The best ideas for me definitely come spur of the moment when I'm just, living my best life, when I'm at the beach, whatever. Like those are when I get the best ideas. But in terms of my writing process, I schedule it as if it's my job, because I feel like the only way you can really become the best writer you can be is to just do it a lot. And so there's days when I don't feel creative at all, but that's what co-writing is good for, because you don't know when someone is going to have, something that they really want to say that day, or a really good melody, or just something that will inspire you. So I pretty much schedule 3 to 4 writes a week, sometimes more. If I've been out of town for a while, I'll schedule more. But and I sit down, it's usually 2 to 3 writers, and we take as much time as we need.
And is that something you've started doing? Is that a new thing since you moved to Nashville? Because I'm assuming that wasn't available to you in Raleigh, or did you travel to Nashville to do it previously?
So when I originally started writing, I wrote by myself for about 3 years. And then when I got my first co-write, it happened to be someone in Nashville. So I came here a few times to co-write with people or play rounds or whatever it was. But now I pretty much only co-write. I need to be writing by myself more, because quarantine's definitely forced me to remember how creative I am by myself. It's just good to remember, who you are and what your writing style is.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have so when it comes to recording, do you have a studio you use, or have you got like maybe a friend's studio, or are you still looking for somewhere long term? Talk to me a bit about that.
So Nashville is also flooding, not only with also producing. And what's cool is what I love about that is that they're all in home studios, and most of them, and pretty much no matter what your budget is in Nashville, you'll find somebody that can work with you. And the last producer from out of my town, Gary Garris, I wrote with him a couple times, and he's a great track guy in the room. And I was like, no one's made my voice sound that good. So I was like, please produce my first single. But I kind of dabble in producers because it just depends on their style and the type of song. So Out of My Town, as you know, is a little bit more traditional country or whatever, pop country. But Know You Like That is very much Sam Hunt kind of, way more pop country. So I found a new producer for that one, and his name is Zach Mono. And I'll be using him. It just depends on the style of song, really, in terms of which producer I use. I have mics over here, but I'm not the best at producing my own stuff. We're working on it. We're learning.
Do you have any inspirations for songwriting, or anyone you sort of, benchmark as the level you want to achieve?
There's been a lot of good songwriting happening, I feel like, in Nashville that really inspires me. I really listen to a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I really pay attention to. But I love going out to rounds. Here in America, they're called music rounds. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but basically it's like 4 or 5 songwriters on a stage, and you take turns playing, your original song. Goes through like 3 times. And whenever you go to one of those, sometimes you'll see a hit writer, sometimes you'll just see someone like me who just moved to Nashville, sometimes it'll be their first performance, whatever. But it's really inspiring to just see everybody as songwriters, like put what they're going through in life into a song, and to like share that. And I always feel super inspired when I walk out of one of those shows.
Oh, so you're inspired by what's happening now instead of maybe stuff from the past. Interesting. We were meant to have the Song Suffragettes come over doing a tour across the UK, which had like Candy Carpenter in, who I love. I think she's incredible. But again, COVID cancelled. We've had loads of stuff cancelled. It's so annoying. Actually, you played one of the live streams. Have you done the actual show? Have you played a Song Suffragettes actual event, or? Yes,
my first Song Suffragette show that I played was a few years ago. I think I was 17, about to be 18. When I played my first Song Suffragette show, and I've played a few more times since then, and I absolutely love it. I love the Listening Room Cafe. I'm actually about to go there tonight to go watch a. Yes, I am. But I love it there, and the Song Suffragettes is a great group if you guys haven't heard of them. And they're doing a lot for female and country music, so I'm always excited to play with them.
And I think they started doing live streams, but they've carried on actually doing the live streams at the venues on YouTube as well, so people can watch them. They're just incredible. I think they're probably one of the most exciting rounds in Nashville at the moment, would you say, or? There's
a lot of exciting rounds.
Diplomatic.
Definitely, I feel like one of the biggest ones that happens at the Listening Room Cafe. I feel like each venue around here pretty much has like their staple round that people go to. Jam is a huge one, and that's at Losers. So there's a lot of great rounds here, but Song Suffragettes is definitely making their mark on not only in Nashville. I mean, when a round can be heard from UK, like that's big.
So what's next for you then? Are we working towards an EP or an album? Are you just going to go single by single?
So I am actually going single by single. Okay. I decided to do that because I felt like I wanted each song that I released to live its life and to have a chance to be heard, because especially as a new artist, if I push, 4 or 5 songs on people all at once, only about 1 or 2 of those are actually going to, make a playlist, or people are going to actually continue listening to them. And to me, every song I write is like my little baby. So I want each one to be special.
I guess especially while you're kind of new, to use the word, and still finding where you want to go, until you've kind of got your sound or direction, I suppose it's good to just go single by single, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's something that I'm really working on, is finding my sound. And I'm not going to know what that is until I keep putting things out that I vibe with or that I really like. And I'll be able to tell right away by the streams as to whether or not, that one's not doing pretty good. Maybe we should not do that again.
Is it still really exciting for you to kind of find new directions that you can go and hear how you can work with in the production and things?
Absolutely. I think that every artist's career their brand is always going to slightly change because we're human. Yeah. And every song we write, like I said, like I write depending on my moods. There's some titles that end up being way more country than anything else I've ever written. And then there's some stuff that's just super pop and upbeat. So I kind of follow my creative heart when it comes to that stuff. Nice.
So who's on your Spotify or Pandora or iTunes or whatever you use playlist at the moment? Who are you listening to a lot of? If you just want to shout out some friends that you listen to, that's fine.
Friends in town. My friend Morgan Johnson is amazing. She's actually releasing two songs that I wrote with her. Okay. But that's not why I love her. That's not why I love her. She's really good. She's definitely an artist to look out for. This other local band called 641, I am obsessed with their stuff. I've been streaming them a lot in terms of friends. But in terms of artists, like I said, I'm probably contributing to a lot of Morgan Wallen's streams. But I also love Ingrid Andress right now. A lot of her stuff that she's putting out is super inspirational to me. Old Dominion, I stream them a lot.
Nice. Ingrid Andress has just gone from like nothing to massive in no time at all, hasn't she?
That's what a good song will do to an artist.
Yeah, incredible. I saw her in London actually, and she's just amazing. Love her. And she plays the piano like you, doesn't she? Another pianist.
She does. I need to get back into piano. I've been playing since I was 6. My dad put me in lessons. But when I started writing, everything I was writing was so slow. It was, Kaylin, why do you need to write 4-minute songs? We get the point. So I picked up the guitar and noticed that my writing style started to just sound more commercial than piano. But I need to get back into it because I love piano. And I think that's why I love Ingrid Andress so much, is because she's reminding me that like, no, maybe you should go back to piano and write those vulnerable songs.
I always end all interviews, whoever it's with, on these 2 questions. Some people find them the hardest. They're about food and drink. Everyone, regardless of where they are in the world, often picks a similar answer. So if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My one meal that I would eat for the rest of my life. Am I allowed to pick sides?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
Mine would be crab legs, potatoes, and corn.
Yep, no one's picked that. Most people pick like pizza or tacos. How did you pick crab legs? Where's that come from?
I'm obsessed with crab legs. Like, if it's on the menu and it's not too expensive, if that market price isn't too expensive, that's my first choice. I don't know. I love crab legs, like a low country broil.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect that. And okay, good. If you could, I was all geared up for pizza or pizza or tacos. I understand there's loads of taco trucks in Nashville. So, I mean, how easily can you get crab's legs? Is that pretty easy in Nashville, or do you have to go back home?
That's the thing. I think that's why I love crab legs so much. Is like it's always a special occasion when I eat them because number one, they're expensive. Number two, the best crab legs are at seafood, not are at seafood, are at the ocean. So I can't get the quality crab legs at Red Lobster. I can get them, but they're not the best.
If you could only have one drink for the rest of your life, I mean, if you drink alcohol, you can have two. I don't mind.
Well, if alcoholism wasn't a thing and it wouldn't be the reason why I was dying, I guess, then Jack and Coke would be my drink of choice.
Is that your drink if you're out?
That is my drink when I'm out, 100%. And every time I try to like stray away from it and try something new, I end up just like not wanting to drink the rest of the night. So I'm like, should have stuck with a Jack and Coke.
Kaylin, let's wrap up the interview. Thank you so much. Before we go, where can people find you on social media?
People can find me at Kaylin Roberson, KaylinRoberson. I don't know why the T's are out of my name, but they are. Don't put the T in there. You can find me at Kaylin Roberson on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or you can just look me up at www.kaylinroberson.com, and you can find all my social links on my website.
Nice. Kaylin, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
My chat with Kaylin Roberson there. She's such a lovely person and really inspirational, and she loves crab's legs. We actually continued that conversation off the recording, and she was going out to see a show that night and having dinner, but not crab's legs, sadly. Kaylin's new single, Know You Like That, is out now and available in all good streaming places, and if you head over to the Total Country Podcast social media pages, you can see an acoustic performance of the new song. If you like the podcast, please do subscribe, like, rate, review, all that good stuff. It really does help massively. You can find the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and the show is on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, all using the handle TotalCountryPod. If you want to contact the show, please drop me an email. It's totalcountrypod@gmail.com. My guest next time is an artist who I think may be my contender for having the album of the year, Kaylee Hammock. Kaylee is a fireball of energy, and if her name doesn't ring a bell straight away, I'm sure you'll have heard her track Family Tree or her duet with Reba McEntire, Redhead, both of which are doing big things on country radio at the moment. But that's next time. So until then, I've been Kevin, you've been great. Thanks for listening. Keep it country, keep it safe. Bye for now.